Good evening. I'd like to call to order the February 3rd, 2025 Ware Board of Selectmen meeting at 6:31 PM. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Anyone like to make any public comment? All right. There was a affirmative or a negative head shakes from the crowd, so we'll move on to department head committee items. I don't see any department head committee people here other than us. So I'll just provide an update that Chief Moore gave us via email last week regarding the radio tower project. He's advising that work is progressing and the completion is now April 2025. According to the note he sent, the system has been fully staged, tested, and approved at the lab of the subcontractor, the vendor. And installation is pending finalization of paperwork on their side and weather dependent for concrete pad installation. So, good news.
Just one other thing, the water filtration system should have been finished this week.
Oh, I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
it was,
Good.
it was started on the 28th and 29th, and it should be done. I didn't check with him today, but it should have been completed on the 29th.
We're talking about the safety complex, correct?
Yes.
Wonderful. That should make things a lot better over there.
Mhm.
Okay. That brings us to the town ballot for printing, finalizing approval for 2025. We all have paper copies of that. The official ballot comes from Maureen. So you can see those on page 1. That would be Article 1. During the deliberative, Article 6 and Article 22 were changed. Everything else should be the same. There's the wording of Article 6 if you go back to the second to the last page. And the last page is the revised Article 22. So, Article 6 is related to the detective, and it was just clarifying language related to the fact that this is an additional duty for an existing person. And so it changes it mainly to assignment. You can read it there for your pleasure. I'm assuming since nothing was changed in regard to dollar amount, this does not need to go back through DRA, correct? No. And legal reviewed it on-site, real-time, so we're good to go with this change, assuming everybody here agrees with it as we understood it. Okay. Looks exactly like it should have been amended to me.
Article 6.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed? Okay. So I think we're good with 6. And then 22, that also looks exactly like it was amended to me. It's a lot easier to read 2 sentences than 18, so, or 2 lines, yeah. Yeah. So,
Written as amended.
I think it's good as amended as well. Do you need a formal vote for us?
I don't know that I do.
Or do we need to actually sign something?
No, but I think maybe she would like to have the motion. You don't have to, but.
I would be glad to do it. I'd motion that we accept the final town ballot as presented this evening for printing. I will make that motion. Would anyone like a second? Thank you, Selectman Pratt. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say yes or yay? Yes?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Okay, motion passes 3-0-0. And that takes us to town mailer wording. I think we have most of them here tonight. They're not in order, but close on some of them. Between the 2 and 3 pages, we can get them in order. So Article 2 would be the first one. Dave, do you want to go through that?
The Ware Fire Department has serviced the town using 3 fire engines. 2 of them, Engine 2 and 5, are primarily used, and Engine 1 was used as a reserve. This article is to allow for the replacement of Engine 1, a 1987 IHC Ranger. Engine 1 is currently out of service as is failed annual pump testing for 3 years in a row, and the town is unable to source parts for the repairs needed for the vehicle. The new engine, if approved, offers more than double the water storage capacity of its replacement and would be rotated in as one of the 2 primary use vehicles, alongside Engine 2, allowing for Engine 5 to be placed as the reserve vehicle in the event that one of the 2 primaries would be temporarily out of service. The Special Revenue Fund stated in the article has a current balance of $1,001,376. The estimated lease payments would be 3 annual payments of $125,200 based on the remaining $350,000 and an estimated 4.64% interest rate. An annual request will be placed on the town warrant in those years, requesting to expend those payments from the same Special Revenue Fund. As this is to be funded from the Fire Department Special Revenue Fund, as stated in the article, there is no impact to the taxpayer.
I had 2, possibly 3 things. The first sentence, on the 2 of them, Engine 2, 5, that's a lot kind of running together. Is there any way we can reword that or
We'll just take 2 of them out.
or put it into 2 sentences possibly?
Yeah, we'll
Or
stop
change
it
2
at
of them.
engines, take 2 of them out, just Engine 2 and 5 are primarily used.
Yeah.
I'll make the updates and I'll email them to you.
And then the 5th line, double the water storage capacity of its replacement and would be rotated in as of. I think there's something missing there.
And as
One
one
of.
of.
And then the second paragraph, when I think of it, and this is just a personal way I look at things.
Yep.
I've got the amount, which we've stated, the down payment, which we've stated, and then the balance of $350, and then how would I pay for the balance of $350? You've kind of got those 2 last things reversed. It's a personal preference of me. It's technically correct. Just don't know if anybody else feels strongly about it. So
So is
$350
the
and annual
remaining-
payments of $125 at 4.64.
Just put remaining 350 in the front.
Would be financed in 3 payments of $125 due to the estimated interest rate of 4.64, or something like that. Again, you don't have to change it, it's just, I
Nope,
think of it as amount, and payment. You have anything?
I do not.
Okay. And
let
obviously,
me
T.A. Bolton will tell us if you think something's incorrectly stated as well, right? Okay,
No, I
I
understand
just
how
wanna
you-
make sure
yeah,
that you-
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine with me.
go ahead.
So I got the remaining 350,000 would be financed in 3 annual payments of 125,200 based on an estimated 4.64% interest rate.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Did you want to bounce back and forth, or do you want to do all yours?
Doesn't matter to me. Mostly just go through them.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I just pieced them together. I just asked that once we're done, if you can email them to me and I can just take and put it into the mailer and
Yep.
put it together.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
do it in Word so that you can.
In Word, just
yeah.
because it's a lot easier because.
Than trying to cut and paste through PDF.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Article 11. The primary purpose of this fund is to provide a self-sustaining source of finance to provide programs to the community such as CPR, Stop the Bleed, how to use an AED, as well as provide information and guidance on how to prepare for disasters. The fund will operate on a revolving basis, meaning that the money generated from the charging for its activities is continuously recycled to purchase supplies, materials, certification cards for its programs. Ultimately, the account is designed to fund its programs to the general public and eliminate the need for taxpayer funding through the operation budget.
Okay, second line, how to use an AED. Anything?
No, nothing stopped.
Okay. Okay. Good with 11?
All right, Article 13. The Lucas CPR device, or Land University Cardiac Arrest System, is a machine that attaches to the chest of the patient to provide consistent, even compression throughout the entire CPR process. The town of Ware currently has 2 of these devices, with 1 on each of the 2 ambulances. This article is intended to replace the 2 aging units, 10 years plus, that, though still usable today, have reached the point where they are no longer serviceable. These units are a highly important piece of equipment to the paramedics, providing a reliable and effective way to perform CPR while allowing them to focus on other tasks at hand in a life-threatening event. As these are to be funded from the Fire Department Special Revenue Fund, as stated in the article, there is no impact to the taxpayer.
Second line, I believe town should be capital T, because you're referring to the town of Ware. And consideration might be for the second to the last line, life-threatening event, maybe life-saving event.
Oh, okay.
The only change that I see would be perhaps changing the 10 years plus regarding the age, just simply say over 10 years old. It's a little simpler and more direct, I think.
Good with 13?
Fine with it.
Okay, 20.
All right. This is a reoccurring article to allow the funding, to allow a funding source that can be used to expend up to the amount appropriated for the contracting of professional services to manage and ensure the best use of town forests by contracting a licensed forester to render professional services such as those listed in the article. Funds not expended through the year will remain in the Town Forest Fund. As this is to be funded from the Town Forest Fund, as stated in the article, there is no impact to the taxpayer.
The second to the last line at the end of that sentence, forest, should we 1R?
Yep.
Anything? Good with 20?
I'm good.
Okay, nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Move on to Article 7, which is the transfer station percent change.
Do you want me to read them?
Sure, I can or you
Okay.
can, doesn't matter.
All right, so Benji and I went over, these are the ones that he did. Article 7 is the transfer station change of the percent for the special revenue fund. It says this special revenue fund was created in 2022 for the purpose of purchasing transfer station equipment and capital projects. Currently, 50% of the recyclable revenues received go into this fund. The other 50% go into the general fund. The average revenues received for the last 5 years are $74,290. This change,
Comma.
sorry, yep, if approved, would put 100% of the recyclable revenue into this fund to offset future equipment and other capital projects for the transfer station.
Yeah, and after if approved, another comma. This change, comma, if approved, comma.
See that?
And while I don't expect it to go into the article or the blurb that goes into the mailer, just a reminder that we would have a potential hearing if we changed anything related to the
Yeah, which-
fees that we charge for demo, because that
Correct.
was brought up a couple times.
Yeah, so
during-
today,
Yeah.
per the RSA, I waited to post. because
Yeah, I
didn't-
saw that, but an additional one at some future time, should we decide to change the fees that are collected
Oh,
for
yeah,
demo.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just to
Yes.
make sure everybody's
Yep.
aware that that's not a done deal. It was talked about a couple times during deliberative, but
Correct.
if we go down that road in the future, it would require a hearing.
Yes,
Okay.
and you do have to have the public hearing between 15 and 30 days, which is why I posted today for the 24th.
Yep. Any other changes? You good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Article 9 is the 10-wheel dump truck. Basically, this is the same one that comes out of the mailer year after year. The purpose of the article is to purchase a new 10-wheel plow truck to continue the upgrading of highway department vehicles. This will replace the 2005 Volvo six-wheel truck that is in poor condition. The 10-wheel truck will also provide the ability to haul 50% more road treatment, reducing the trips needed to go back to obtain more salt and sand.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way we can quantify how much it may take if we have to keep that truck on the road for 2 more years. I know we really didn't talk about that before, but that's probably a substantial amount of money.
At 20 years old, probably.
Yeah.
Servicing? What was the service on it?
It's, which one is this one?
Was T8?
It is T8, correct.
T8.
Yes.
It's only got $582.
Yeah, because they haven't been putting a lot of money into it because
Yeah.
they're hoping it gets replaced, but that's from,
So
you know, I
it's-
don't know if there's any way to quantify, if we don't do it, we're gonna have this much in
Yeah.
repair.
I don't know how to.
If you look at T9, T9 last year was $6,000.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, there was a lot of, those are the pictures they showed. right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I looked at it last time I was down there, and it's even worse now than when I saw it, so.
You can see the person standing on the other side of the truck. It's not good.
It's not good. No, I don't like it when I can see out the floorboard of things either, so. Okay, all right. Any other changes to 9?
None.
James?
No.
Okay.
12 for road reconstruction. This article's on the ballot every year. Provides funding for the primary responsibility of the highway department, which is to repair, rebuild, and maintain the roads to ensure safe travel for residents and visitors. Road improvements and upgrades lead to less maintenance in the future. Roads are the largest infrastructure asset the town owns. Without proper maintenance, costs are extremely expensive and could result in unsafe roads for travel.
Looks good.
I would suggest that when we talk about that being the largest asset that the town owns, and without proper maintenance, costs are,
You should remove the first comma.
Yeah, remove the comma and just say, and without proper maintenance, comma,
Okay.
costs are extremely expensive.
Yeah, or make that a semicolon, either one will work. Okay, add the and. Anything else? You good?
Nothing for me.
Okay.
Article 14 is roadside mower. A roadside mower is a specialized piece of machinery used to cut vegetation along the edges of the roads, primarily to improve driver visibility by maintaining clear sight lines at intersections and curves, ensuring safe areas for vehicles to pull over in emergencies, and preventing obstructions caused by overgrown vegetation. It's a long sentence, I gotta fix that one. Thus enhancing overall road safety for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians.
And it just keeps going.
Actually, its main purpose is to maintain a clear roadside for public safety reasons. With the town owning their own mower, they will be able to mow much more than what is allowed by renting a tractor for only a mower for only a few weeks per year. Wow, that's really bulky.
Okay, so let's
That's-
change that into more than two sentences.
Yeah.
I think we period at the end of roads.
Yep,
The second sentence there.
yeah.
Let's start
yeah,
a second one.
Start something
is.
primarily,
Yeah.
primary purpose. Or its primary purpose.
Its primary purpose, yes.
Is
Is
to improve driver
driver
visibility.
visibility, maintain sightliness. Okay.
I would
it's-
have to stop after vegetation, period.
Overgrown vegetation, oops.
Um, c- Clear,
Our purpose is to, period.
clear roadsides and intersections, enhance overall road safety for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians.
What'd you say? Clear roadside?
Clear roadsides and intersections, enhance overall road safety.
Mm-hmm.
Clear roadsides and intersections,
Enhance
enhance
overall road
overall
safety.
road safety for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians, period.
Yep,
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
And I think that next part becomes duplicative to what we've
Yep,
already
so we can
said,
take
so
that
you can
one
take
out.
that out entirely.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, you want me to read it one more time?
Let's look at the last sentence first.
Okay, sorry.
With the town owning their own mower, we
Oh, we will be able to mow much more than what is allowed by renting a mower only a few weeks a year.
what is accomplished. About accomplished instead of allowed.
Fine with me.
Didn't Jason say they can only do about 20%? I mean, do we want,
Yeah.
do we want to put something in there that, because that's, I think that's more of a seller than,
Yeah, with the town owning their,
Yeah, I was just saying.
our own mower.
or a mower.
Yeah, a mower. He said basically 50% of it can be done on any year, and if, once he gets through those 2 years, it could even be more than that, because it would be much less dense vegetation to deal with.
Or we just change that last sentence to renting a mower only allows approximately 13%, right? Or what would you say, 15%?
Yeah, 13, 12.5. Okay, go ahead.
So renting a mower only allows for approximately 13% of the needed trimming, clearing, of the needed clearing.
Needed.
Okay. To be accomplished in a year.
To be accomplished in a year. Yep.
Do you want to say versus 50% plus in an owned? Or just leave it at that?
So so what ends up happening is like a rotation of clearing?
Yeah, he'd do it the worst spots, worst first, I guess is
Yeah.
the way to term it. And then after that, it would just be maintaining. And he sounded pretty confident that once he got through that initial surge,
Yeah,
he could pretty much keep the whole thing
just
up.
schedule it in.
Yeah,
The difference between bush hogging and then just going back and mowing.
mowing, yeah.
True. I don't know, do you think we need to add anything in there?
Well, you're trying to make the comparison, I think.
Yeah.
And we didn't add anything to compare against. So is it, okay, you could do 13% if you rent, but is it 14 if you own it? We haven't given any information.
Okay, so, so where approximately 50% could be done with the town-owned mower.
Yeah, or 50% plus.
It's even better.
Okay.
All right, so that whole last sentence is,
Yeah, becomes,
it says, while the town, with the town owing a mower, we will be able to mow 50% more?
yeah, I would just strike the
Oh.
whole last
Yeah.
sentence at this
Okay.
point.
All right, so we can start another new sentence?
Yep, renting a mower only allows for approximately 13% of needed clearing to be accomplished in any year. And then I think we're still formulating the rest of that. But Dave's writing, so I
Wow.
feel confident he's gonna give us something in a second.
I'll give you something to tear apart.
It's
Well,
not tearing.
Well, approximately 50% plus can be accomplished with a town-owned mower.
Okay,
All right, so I was crossing. So we're gonna stop at pedestrians, and then we're gonna say renting a mower allows for approximately 13% of the needed clearing to be accomplished.
Allows only for approximately 13%.
Only for approximately 13% of the needed clearing to be accomplished, and then you started to say something else.
in any year,
Yeah, so that-
accomplished in any year,
In a year,
in any year.
any year. Okay,
Comma,
yep,
while approximately 50% plus, or 50% or more,
or more.
I
yep.
guess would be better,
Yep.
can be accomplished with a town-owned mower.
Okay. I like it,
All right, can I just try it one more time?
absolutely.
A, a roadside mower is a specialized piece of equipment used to cut vegetation along the edges of the roads. Its primary purpose is to improve driver visibility by maintaining clear sight lines at intersections and curves, ensuring safe areas for vehicles to pull over in emergency, and preventing obstructions caused by overgrown vegetation, period. clear roadsides and intersections enhance overall road safety for motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians, period. Renting a mower allows for,
only allows.
I say, renting a mower only allows for approximately 13% of the needed clearing to be accomplished in any year, while approximately 50% or more can be accomplished with a town-owned mower. Got
Yes.
it?
I think that's great.
Okay,
You good?
thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes, thank you. And the last one was the transportation scales. The town currently collects revenue from demolition disposal by the cubic yard and pays to dispose of it by the ton, which is not an accurate way of calculating the revenue versus disposal. When a truck pulls up to the demo trailer, the attendant must calculate the cubic yards of waste. On the top of the truck, there might be plywood and miscellaneous boards, but on the bottom, where the attendant cannot see, there may be asphalt shingles. The shingles weigh more than the plywood and miscellaneous boards. The town needs to charge enough revenue to cover the cost of disposal and hauling of the demolition, and using the cubic yard method to calculate is not working. The scale that is being researched will be able to be moved when or if the transfer station gets a new layout. That came out of the book.
I would probably make a period after boards on the fourth line and remove the but and start the sentence with at.
At the bottom. Okay.
Make that into two sentences.
Put a comma after bottom.
Comma after what?
At the bottom,
We got it.
comma,
Yeah, at
where
the
the
bottom,
attendant
comma.
cannot see, comma.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Probably may rather than might. There may be asphalt shingles.
Okay.
I would suggest changing the attendant must calculate to the attendant must estimate. The cubic yards on line 3.
Oh, must estimate the cubic yard of waste?
I would do the same down below at the second to the last line. Cubic yard method to estimate is not working.
Or it's not working well.
Or not working
Not
well.
working well, okay. Okay.
Okay.
That's all he had.
All right. Now it's your turn to hack on me. Operating budget is article number 3. The proposed operating budget represents a 2.5 or 221K increase over the default. The increase can be directly attributed to a 246K increase in health and workers' compensation insurance. Insurances, that's plural because health and workers are two separate sets of insurance. 50K for much-needed equipment and supplies for the fire and EMS departments, and a 2025 retirement obligation of 54K. I believe that town should probably be lowercase. The town was not immune to increased cost for goods, services, and contracts, which allow the town to continue the level of services the town's people have come to expect. The proposed operating budget also includes warrant articles that were approved by the voters as recurring costs in 2024. The board and department heads made significant effort to mitigate the overall increase through offsetting reductions.
I'm good.
I think you're okay keeping the town capitalized, but. then
Yeah, I think
it's-
technically if we say town of where, T is capital. If we just say town, it's lowercase. So it would be a lowercase in this one. Okay. 6 is the detective capabilities. The approval of this article would provide funding for a pay/benefit supplement for one officer to increase his or her responsibilities as a detective. This will not lead to a new position being created and will remain as an additional duty for an existing position. The job responsibilities of detective would substantially increase as the individual will become an expert resource in investigations focused primarily on crimes against juvenile victims. Additionally, the detective would participate in on a regional task force to address this type of crime. When compared to neighboring communities where experiences a much higher and more significant rate of crimes committed against juveniles. Makes me sad to read that.
Good as is.
Okay. Good. All right. Article 8 is officer wellness. These are the two programs. These two programs are meant to provide an early detection system for health concerns in WPD officers. Studies indicate police officers' life expectancy is significantly reduced due to stress. The Heart Start program analyzes officer blood to look for indicators which have been scientifically proven as precursors for heart disease, so corrective actions can be taken. The Officer Wellness Program provides a mental health resource for officers as they respond to so many critical incidents in our community. The two programs will extend officers' careers and ensure they remain healthier on the job.
Sounded like you were changing heart diseases to just singular, or you want to keep that as plural heart diseases?
Let's make sure I read it properly. Let's see, the Heart Start program analyzes officers' blood to look for indicators which have been scientifically proven as precursors for heart disease. So I would say that remove the S there. Because heart disease is a generic condition.
Right.
So it would just be without the S.
Would there be a comma after that? Disease, so corrective actions can be taken.
I don't think so, but I'd go either way on that.
Depends on which update to Microsoft Word you have, whether it'll flag it one way or the other.
Obviously, mine isn't working well.
Yeah, and I think officers' careers should be officers apostrophe, because it's the career of the many officers.
Yep, agreed.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extend.
S apostrophe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm good with those changes.
Okay.
Yep.
Article 10 is the Tahoe. The police department travels approximately 125 to 135,000 miles annually. I think that K should be lower, or excuse me, uppercase K for 1,000. When fully staffed, one vehicle should be replaced annually to ensure the department has reliable transportation to respond to calls for service. In 2019, 2020, and 2022, a replacement vehicle was not approved for the oldest vehicles in the fleet at the end of their life cycle, leading to excessive repairs. The three oldest vehicles, all Dodges, account for $25,498 worth of repairs in 2024, while the department's budget for repairs is only $10K. Currently, one Dodge needs a 5K transmission repair, which will need to be completed should this warrant article fail. So I would change all the Ks to uppercase. And there's probably a couple commas that need to be in here, I'm guessing.
I think after annually. In the first sentence. I think so.
Yeah, when fully staffed is a qualifier.
Probably keeping all Dodges in the parentheses is probably okay, or you could put commas in there instead. But parentheses are fine, I think. last line where we're talking about the one Dodge needs a 5,000 transmission repair, comma, which will need to be completed?
Yeah. Yeah, it's either which would need to be completed, comma, should this warrant article fail, or repair, comma, which will need to be completed should this warrant article fail. I think it's probably after repair,
Yeah.
because if the warrant article is approved, the repair will not need to be completed. So I think it's after repair.
I got nothing else.
Okay. Good to move on from 10. Article 15 is next. This is the Tasers Life Cycle Program. Axon, the manufacturer of tasers. So I guess I have a question whether it's taser or tasers. Somebody want to look that up? Now requires a 5-year contract for the purchase of tasers. The current taser model the department uses will no longer be supported beginning in 2028. The department will start building up an inventory of the newer model at a rate of 2 taser packages and 1 certification package annually. It will take 5 years to get all officers certified and equipped with new tasers. Tasers are a necessary, less than lethal tool needed for officers to control volatile situations using the minimum force necessary. Tasers have been proven to reduce injuries to suspects and officers. A 2011 Department of Justice report found that tasers can reduce injuries to suspects and the use of force by officers. Tasers can reduce the number of lawsuits related to use of force. If this warrant article is approved, the approved monies will be used to fund initial purchase of taser equipment in 2025, and that amount will be added to the annual budget in 2026 for ongoing annual purchase of, as equipment is rotated. Ongoing annual purchases as the equipment is rotated.
Yeah, taser is T-A-S-E-R.
Okay,
Looks like it should always be capitalized and never.
never with an S,
Never with an S.
unless we're talking about more than one taser.
No.
No?
If that's the case, we should probably talk about them as personal defense devices. Because taser is like the brand,
Right, and that's what we're buying, is that brand.
right? But they're personal defense devices, not, I know, we all call them tasers, because we know what they are. So. It makes it a little more awkward, or we can just stay and call them tasers.
Or we just call them the Thomas A. Swift electric rifle. That's what it stands for.
Yep, that's why it's all caps, so I know it was an acronym. I didn't remember who Thomas was. I couldn't get the Thomas.
All right, where were we?
Do we need to make any changes?
So we're taking the S off of everything?
I don't know. This has gone through the chief, so Chief Moore has looked at this, and he didn't say anything about the S's.
No. We could probably get away with just making them a lowercase s, since it's not part of the name.
Well, the plural of taser is tasers.
Okay. Then I'd say they're all correct.
But they don't have it capitalized either.
Well, it's probably like Kleenex at this point.
Yeah, true.
But my understanding is we are buying that brand and that name, so
Yes.
I think it's appropriate that we keep it in there.
I'm not saying we remove taser, I'm just,
Yeah, I know,
So again, we're leaving the S where
Yeah.
they are.
yeah,
Yep,
As written.
yep,
I believe so.
okay. Good to move on?
yep.
Article 16 has to do with the 5-bay carport. The police department lacks sufficient storage for bulk property/evidentiary items and currently must rent space. The department also spent thousands of dollars on vehicle repairs from sun/weather exposure. Rather than continuing to spend tax dollars on rent, which provides no return, it is proposed to build a 5-bay carport. This structure will protect the department's 5 patrol vehicles from weather-related damage and provide an area for storing bulk property/evidentiary items. If approved, this will reduce the budget line for evidence storage in the police department by $2,500 annually, starting in 2026.
On the second line, is has supposed to be gone? The department has also, you just said the department also.
I just missed it in reading it. It
Okay,
has
so
also.
we leave it? Okay.
Yeah, on the first line, I might suggest taking, on the second line, currently must rent space to currently rent space. I mean, technically, I think that both would be correct. But it just makes it less wordy with rents space. And I'm assuming we're paying by the page. Not that one word's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, it's fun to put it together.
I'm good.
James?
Yep.
Okay. Article 18 is the body worn camera life cycle program. Axon requires a 5-year contract for the purchase of body worn cameras, BWC, lower S. This equipment is essential to record interactions between officers and citizens, which can then be reviewed for training and complaint purposes. Department personnel must have licensing access for the stored media to provide discovery as part of the judicial process, or the town would face lawsuits. This proposed program provides all licensing and software needs annually, 3 replacement cameras annually, and a docking bay to recharge the equipment. If this warrant article is approved, the approved monies will be used to fund initial purchase of BWC equipment in 2025, and that amount will be added to the annual operating budget in 2026 for ongoing annual purchases as the equipment is rotated.
Nitpicky, but perhaps if we're talking about 3 replacement cameras and 1 docking bay as opposed to a docking bay.
Okay.
Spelt or numeral?
There's a number.
He's got
I was-
3.
I would go
That's-
with a number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 should be THREE. I don't know if you caught that. Okay.
So you want to write 3 and then ONE?
1. Yeah.
And adding operating between annual and budget?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nope.
Nothing.
All right. Excuse me. Article 19 is cypre. These funds are used to make improvements and repairs to the town's cemeteries, lowercase. The request is for $35,000 to be authorized from the Cypre account to continue the work outlined in the 5-year plan developed by the Cemetery Trustee Advisory Committee and concurred with by the cemetery trustees. This amount is anticipated to be utilized to fund headstone repair for the oil mill cemetery and tree work at other properties. If the money is not obligated in 2025, it will be returned/remain in the Cypre account.
Aren't you using it for Eaton and Sugar Hill as well?
Yes, but that's like a secondary amount. The primary is oil mill.
Okay. So did you say small t under towns?
Yeah. Anything else?
I would say
You got
return
the
two.
2 after 35,000?
Yeah. Return to.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure which way to do it, because if we don't actually vote to expend the money, then it never leaves the Cypre account.
Right.
So,
It's similar to the,
That's what,
yeah,
Yeah.
we
That's what
spend the
Benji-
money and then we get reimbursed basically from the Cypre, so it would probably be remain instead of return. Yeah. You okay with me striking returned?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
okay,
Last one on my list is the Employee Retirement Fund, Article 21. These funds would be used to cover future retirement obligations. The town, lower t, currently has a handful of individuals that are close to retirement either by age or by service years. If these individuals decide to retire now, there's an unfunded obligation of $157,634. Putting money into this fund will help alleviate the tax spikes that would result from having to fund these obligations by taxation all in the year the employee retires. Having sufficient money in this fund will reduce, if not eliminate, tax spikes in future years related to retirement obligations. So maybe instead of would, say could on the fourth line.
where is that?
Fourth
Oh,
line,
yeah.
would, should be could.
Or may.
Yeah, that may result from
May.
having to fund these.
Okay. What else?
Good.
Okay,
Trying to give you room, I keep creeping closer.
that's okay. Just have it.
so how do we want to do the other articles?
Do you have anything at all, James?
I do.
Okay,
So we'll work on some of that. So
okay.
Article 5 was for the park director. Oops. And that's the one I have the most of. Yes. All right, so I would say for initial verbiage, in 2008, the town changed the park director's compensation from hourly to a volunteer position with an annual stipend of $5,000 to cover costs. Let's see. The Parks and Rec Commission recently updated the duties assigned to the director and increased the demand on the position. As a paid volunteer, the director is not included in the non-union town employee raises.
And instead of demand, maybe responsibility? Because you did increase the breadth of responsibilities, right?
And update
Demand just sounds like it might be time.
responsibilities.
And it's not just time, it's actually stuff,
Well, I mean, 90% of it
which equates to time, but it's not just time. Okay,
other duties as assigned.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah, recently updated the, yeah, I said updated the duties assigned and increased the responsibilities on the position. And then, as a paid volunteer, the director is not included in the non-union town employee raises.
Or the position. Just make it, because it's position. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yep.
For
And you'll email that to me?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
I think you had the
I think
raises,
you
were the
had
others?
4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, part of the four. That one I need a little assistance on.
Yeah. In the book, the very first, what I think should have been a bullet, this represents an increase for 58 full-time
Hmm.
and permanent part-time employees. You could start there.
Do we need a breakdown like that? I don't think that
no.
really offers.
Yeah, I would just start with it covers those 58.
You definitely want to include their insurance premiums are
Yeah.
increasing.
So, this would be the one here.
So we'd say, this represents it represents increases for 50 full-time and permanent part-time employees, plus numerous park and recreation employees, as well as numerous on-call firefighters.
Yeah, I'd start with that, then we can add to it.
So, just so last year, we started exact same sentence.
Okay, good.
And then after that, we wrote 32.8% is for highway personnel, and 33.4 is for the first responders, and the remaining 33.8 is for the town clerk office, assessing, library, transfer, selectman's office, tax collector, land use, finance, parks and rec, and then it says this article excludes employees by the proposed CBA and those set by contract such as town administrator. I don't know if those percentages are in there,
They are,
yeah.
but they're
that's-
different, obviously.
Yeah, that's what we put last year. It was Article 8 last year.
I was almost there.
Yeah, I don't know that we need those all breakouts by department, but we could say that it excludes the town administrator, the collective bargaining agreement employees, and stipend positions such as the Board of Selectmen and Park Director. And then, you wanted to add something about the insurance?
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a large increase to take on. I mean, we have it sprinkled in the other areas, but I think you want it
Mm-hmm.
in this one.
So then maybe the third sentence would be, health insurance premiums will increase by 22.2% beginning July 1. Which will negatively impact take-home pay here. Or this raise will offset.
Impacting
Yeah,
their
or this
take-home
raise will
pay.
partially offset. This raise will be used to offset,
This raise will
partially
help,
be used or
help
help.
to offset
Okay, help,
the take-home impact, take-home pay impact,
help lessen,
lessen the
or
impact.
lessen.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so
Did you get all that? I can't write as fast as we talk either, so.
I should have brought my keyboard, but I'm typing
Oh,
fast.
you didn't have the keyboard with it?
No,
Okay.
So I think it's 3 sentences.
The first one,
Yep.
yeah.
And then,
maybe just updated numbers for the percentages, was that?
We're gonna take
no,
out,
I wouldn't put the
No.
percentages of the who it,
Okay.
but I would put who it excludes. That would be the second sentence. Excludes town administrator, excludes CBA represented employees, excludes the Board of Selectmen, park director.
so the only one I didn't catch in between was the insurance sentence.
Yeah, that would be the third one.
Right.
The third sentence
Mhm.
would be,
Was not fully, was that,
Well, is it something with the increased health insurance premiums starting July 1st? It will help?
yeah.
Is that how?
Health insurance plan premiums will increase by 22.2% beginning July 1.
Twenty-two point
2.
two
I'm
percent,
taking that off of the sheet we provided.
July 1.
This raise will lessen the impact of that on the town employees' take-home pay. I don't know, that doesn't sound exactly like what we said a minute ago, but
Yeah, it sounded okay. Probably this proposed raise.
proposed raise.
you say, the proposed raise will lessen the impact of health insurance increases? Just combine
On
it into
employee
one.
take-home pay.
one.
Yeah, I like that.
Proposed raise will lessen the impact of health insurance increases. Or when the, or on impact on.
Well, I can, I know we're trying to fix it, so what, I guess I would propose, because I can't get the finance ones until Tuesday, so if you want, I'll put together the whole,
Tomorrow or the following Tuesday?
the following Tuesday, because they have,
Okay,
they have Wednesday this week is delivered for school, Friday is John Stark, so they're meeting on the 11th to finalize their wording.
okay.
So if you'd like, if you send me yours,
Yep,
and I'll take what we just did and give you one last run at all of them and send it out,
yeah,
will that work?
yep. And I'll update the ones I've made changes.
Yeah, and Dave said he'd send
And that
those
way
to me.
you have them all in
And then we
order.
can just have one last run,
Okay,
so that we're not,
all right.
everybody can see it and then approve it.
So I'd say we have a near final draft, but not final.
Yeah, we're pretty close. You can see the
Review.
finish line
On 210,
on 210, yep.
okay. Good to move on from that?
Yes.
Okay. In the box, we had a CAI contract. I don't know if you want to provide us with some background on that.
I haven't actually, that came to me with an email, and I think it's for April 1st anyway, so we have
Mhm.
time, right?
Okay.
I think we talked about it last year with.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't remember
That's fine,
why
I
we
can
do
get you,
it.
I'll get you
and
some more
These two
information.
gentlemen
Yep.
probably
And
didn't
that's
hear
the
that
tax
last year.
map maintenance. Every year, with subdivisions or lot line adjustments, we send the plans to CAI, which is Cartographics Associates, and they add those to, and whatever corrections we might have come out through the course of the year, they add those to the tax map, and then provide us with brand-new copies of the tax map, but, I know the contract starts for April 1st, but I'll get you a little bit more information, because last year we talked about, is there anyone else out there?
Yeah,
And I threw it out on the listserv last year, and I'll be happy to do it this year, but last year we didn't find anybody else, but I'll be happy to do that again, if you want.
well, you never know, somebody could be new.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll do that next week.
Okay.
We actually have time either next week, or if we want to put it on the 24th, because you're meeting the 10th, and then the 17th, the building's closed, so you go from the 10th to the 24th. But it's in April 1st, so we still have time.
Okay. Administrators report?
So the town ballot, I did send you around the town clerk, the deputy town clerk job, the position for the opening.
Yep.
I sent you around draft 2, only have a conversation that Pam and I had Saturday. She wanted to do something a little bit different, with an associate's degree preferred. And I happened to go on NHMA's listserv, and Swansea has got a deputy town clerk they're looking for as well, part-time. So what you see in bold came from their advertisement, and Pam liked it. So the bold is what I would add, and the strike-through is what would disappear. Everything else in the first round I didn't change anything.
And what about town residency required? I
Yeah,
saw
so
that
town
was struck through. Is
residency
that somewhere
is at the
else?
beginning.
Okay,
It says, in bold, it says the town awares an opening,
Got it.
the applicant must be resident aware.
okay.
That's why I
Yep,
left it
It's
off.
duplicate down there.
Yep. And the
Is
idea,
that just a prerequisite?
I'm sorry,
Is that just a prerequisite of the town, or is it?
No, I think that's of the
I think you have
RSA.
to, I think the RSA requires that you have to be a resident aware.
All right.
I guess the idea is, and I think Janice knows this, the idea, Pam's running unopposed. So the idea would be to put this out and advertise, and because no matter who is gonna have to take some time. And the idea is Maureen is going to be done probably the night of March 11th, because Pam could be sworn in that night. And in speaking, I believe Maureen's gonna just bring her keys in on Wednesday and go. But this gives us an opportunity now where there is no.
Shorten the process.
It can shorten it, because by the time you run the ad, you get the applications, you look through it. And that was the idea, to have some time to shadow, and then he or she will get into the state. But it would be nice to shadow first before you hit the motor vehicle training at the state. So the idea is to kind of hit the ground as quick as we can and get someone in. The only thing I explained was we didn't budget for 3 people to be paid. So it's just gonna be a hard, you know what I mean? We budgeted.
Yeah, but when we're not talking about, weeks and weeks and weeks.
Nope,
We're talking
no,
about
I
a
just-
small amount of time, if any at all.
If any, right, because whoever you select and do the interview process will probably still have to give notice at their place. So if we can just get this started and you're okay with it, we can advertise.
Yeah, and if we find somebody quickly, we can pace when they actually come in to do that shadowing. Doesn't have to be immediate.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
obviously we want
Yeah, what they
to
just
shorten
asked
the
if we.
amount of time they require to come on board as possible, as far as effectiveness.
So the idea for tonight was, if you're okay with this, we can start advertising, and then hopefully it'll all fall together very quickly.
Yeah. So there is still the possibility of a write-in campaign, but historically, those haven't been extremely successful. So
There's
we'll just
always
need to
that.
monitor it as we go step through step, see where we're at.
Yep.
That's my thought. I think we should proceed
No,
with
you're-
posting it.
Agreed.
You prefer to have a paper copy than
I,
it there?
I do, I just didn't
Oh,
have
okay.
the second copy.
So you're good with posting that?
Yes.
Okay. Comcast letter, Selectman Pratt had brought that up. Comcast, I have it here somewhere.
I have it here if you want it.
I thought it was organized. Thank you. So I forwarded you an email that I received from Monica from Comcast, and they're obviously looking for the town for a letter of support. Obviously, they're due shortly, February 5th. I think you guys all read the email.
Yeah, I just not, what do they do with this? I don't know what, I mean, I
It's a
understand the
of
letter,
support
but
for their
what-
application to broadband equity access, and this is the letter that she had asked us to put on our town letterhead. And it just said that we would, it basically says aware supports this letter, submits this letter of support in conjunction with the application of Comcast Cable Communications to the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. And it says, we are pleased that they plan to deploy, I don't know what it is, to be honest with you, quite frankly.
Wasn't quite sure either.
Okay, well, I mean,
I know we have them,
Yeah,
a certain arrangement, I don't want to say it's a contract, but there's a certain arrangement that they provide us with channels and in exchange for
Yep.
different
well,
things.
this is only voluntarily, you don't have to,
Right.
to be quite honest with you.
That's where I was going. Is it in our quote-unquote, for lack of a better word, contract that we do this?
I don't believe it is.
Okay,
This is just another additional letter of support.
okay.
And so, I guess personally, I look at not knowing enough about it that I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah,
And I'm okay writing back to her and letting her know that we're not gonna, just, I
Sounds
don't
like-
see it.
Yeah, it seems like whatever it is, we're still eligible, but this just kind of.
Yeah,
bumps you
it's
up
just
a
like
little bit.
one more, you know, how you get all these letters of support for a grant. I
Mhm.
think that's what that is. But I don't know what it's gonna get us, if anything. But I'm happy to pass.
Don't understand it. Don't sign up for it.
well,
Right.
you two know more about this kind of topical stuff than I do, so,
James, do you have any,
yeah.
I don't, not on this one.
I don't even have Comcast.
All right. I don't either.
Right. And then Parks and Rec had
But
asked,
that has nothing to do with it. I just don't
Yeah.
understand it.
me neither.
So it's not that I don't think Comcast provides a valuable service, because there's a lot of people that rely on them for TV and internet.
Correct.
I just don't understand it enough to put my name to it.
Sure. Acceptable. Parks and Rec, the bylaws and the part-time job description, I had put those, or going to put them for February 10th.
Yeah, can we make sure either that you're here or Denise is here or both for that?
You'll be here next week?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
Perfect.
that was one of my asks. Maybe
Okay.
we could sneak that on next week.
Building inspector candidates, now that we've moved on from deliberative session, I can get with Steve and we can look at those. I just haven't had, because of deliberative session, and I gotta get the town report in the mailer still, so I'll get with Steve and we can look through those. One person did withdraw because they got another job.
Okay.
But that's okay. Land use, do you want me to refresh that again? Do you want me to go ahead? Okay.
Yes, please.
Yes, and then, Chief Moore's not here, but, we did get a final okay for us to accept the traffic ordinance, but I'm gonna clean it up. I just wanna make sure Chief's on the same page.
Okay, good.
Town mail, we have to do it by Friday. I got an email about the 1-hour training for cyber. I'm just looking at, I just wrote February.
Yeah, and just a reminder, I know it's been a while since we talked about that, that would be a non-public session.
Yes, yes.
And Salem, I believe, brought up, it's gonna be a new board, do we wanna wait till March?
Oh, yeah. We could do it in March.
March. I'll just let them know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
just wanna know.
Thank you.
The same thing you want, then with the, because there was some discussion, and I sent it out to you a while ago about the trustees and the private trusts, and, you know, we were gonna have a joint work session with them, and Terry Knowles was gonna walk us through the private trusts and things like that.
Yeah, I
In
think
the
that would be
same
good for
sense,
March.
do you wanna do that
Yep.
in March? Okay,
Yeah, and that would be a public session.
that's public, yeah.
Okay.
The food pantry I put on for the 24th, if that's all
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Kinda tentatively. We also had kicked.
Yeah,
out-
and, you know, if they wanna come in, that's great. We're not requiring them to come in. I would welcome meeting them and all that kind of
Sure.
stuff like we did with Sugar and Spice, but I don't, you know.
Well, I
if-
guess that's the anticipation they came in, yeah.
Okay, but if they don't wanna do it,
Yeah.
just make sure that they know that that's an option.
Okay. I'm looking at the 24th, just trying to plan a little bit. Tax deeding, again, we probably should talk about that, and we talked about after town meeting.
Yeah, I think we talked about, we would definitely want to put it out for bidding
Mm-hmm.
in terms of who's going to do the auctions for us.
Yeah, and you have really two companies
Yeah.
that I call, I don't wanna say left, but, you know, there's two companies that really do it, and I don't know, do you?
I thought there was a difference in capabilities on what they provide. So if you went with one, they would do basically a turnkey job, and if you went with the other one, they would have to subcontract part of it out to other
Yes.
entities.
And I guess what I was asking with that,
technically.
would it be worth them being here?
Probably not for this initial one. We may move to that.
Okay.
Yeah, just
And
kind of get a
as in,
collective.
like an interview is
Yeah,
what?
kind of
okay.
get a collective on what are we thinking, and then if we
Okay.
want to bring them in, we could do that with much more formulated thought.
Okay. The public hearing, I waited until after deliberative session to make sure that it even moved forward. So that I posted, I did put it in the newspaper, the messenger, show up on Friday. So it still meets your deadline. And that's just statutorily when you go from 50 to 100.
Yep.
75 Wordley Road, they did provide me a deed to the property in 2 names, so that's off your plate. I have it right here, if anybody
Awesome.
wants to see it.
Thank you.
Yep, I just had sent you prior to, we didn't do a administrator last time, you have an legal itemized bill from December. I don't have January's, but I'll send that when I do. As a reminder, again, as I said earlier, the town offices is closed Monday the 17th for President's Day, so as suit, we usually have no meeting when the building's closed. I'm just waiting for Benji to reply on the last one, then I've got everybody.
Okay. And you've been giving Mr. Fillmore updates on where you're
I
at on
have
that?
been, yep.
Okay.
Hazard
Getting them?
mitigation,
Yeah,
on your right.
right to know, you've been getting correspondence that says we're still working on it? Okay, thank you.
The hazard mitigation plan, as you know, you did that last week. Mark got a one price, and I did send him just to Southern New Hampshire to get a quote, so he'll get those two. Building permit I sent you guys went through the 30th of January. Oh, I have land use on here twice, yes, to re-advertise, sorry. Any others, honestly, I have not changed.
Okay. After we get through park, let's get cable in here. It doesn't need to be on the 24th,
No,
but,
I'm just,
Yeah,
I knew
it-
there was one I was missing.
yeah, it's the third one from the bottom. It just says 2025.
Yeah. Moving on. Okay,
Just want to see where they're at with their stuff.
okay, let me see. Legalize. That. And I think, I'm guessing you're gonna talk about a couple of, I don't know, the East Road email.
No, I think we need to have a non-public for that.
Okay, I wasn't sure, sorry if I,
No, that's fine. I just
Yep.
think we need to have a non-public for
Okay,
that, and I
that's-
didn't plan on doing that tonight. I would rather we wait till we have a full board.
it doesn't appear that it's like earth shaking, so.
No, but it is one of those things we just need to now get
No, you want a full
moving
board.
on.
That's all I had. I do have that email, but I'll push
Okay.
that aside.
All right.
I do have actually one more. I sent you an email in regards to, putting on the website, the,
Oh, yeah, I'm glad you
So-
reminded me.
so I, had said that I could put on the town Facebook page, but the website is a little bit different.
Yeah, so my thought is anybody can show up here and say what they want during public comment, or in the past, we've even done it, from the table. I don't necessarily like doing that. I prefer somebody in the public do it. It's not something the town's putting on, so I would say no to the website myself. What do you guys think?
No, I'm in agreement with that. If it's not something, if it's, excuse me, if it's not something that we normally do,
Yeah.
and it's not something that we're
And I
putting
can put it on the Facebook page as an announcement. I think that's it's just an
There's the
announcement.
forward.
Yeah,
You take hers and forward it, so it doesn't look like
yeah,
we're putting it on.
correct. All right, I can do that. Thank you. I thought the same way, because it's nothing we're sponsoring, so.
Yeah.
I think it's out on Facebook all over, because I've had several people say it to me, so. That's, Janice, all I had.
Okay. Any questions for the administrator? Okay.
Nope.
That brings us to manifests. I would like to make a motion to order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payable checks dated February 6, 2025, as included in the following manifests. Payroll manifest, $85,067.34. Accounts payable manifest, $30,431.87. John Stark accounts payable manifest, $500,000. And Ware School accounts payable manifest, $700,000, for a total of $1,315,499.21. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Selectman Pratt. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say yes or yay?
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Motion passes 3-0-0. Okay, we've got some minutes on here. I'm gonna suggest that, I believe we also have December 23rd, in addition to 1/6, 1/13, 1/20, and 1/27.
Okay.
Um,
Are you tabling?
Well, I don't know how prepared you guys are to go over minutes. I'd say wait one more week and do them next week, unless you're ready.
I'm good. Next week.
Okay.
I did have some notes, but
Next week?
Yeah. And can you add the 23rd on there? Because remember, we did approve those, and then we unapproved them for a technical issue.
I gotcha.
On my error, just to be 100% clear on that. And then
Right.
we still have sealed minutes that we need to review from October 21, 28, November 4, and December 23. Okay, that brings us to Selectmen Committee updates. Since I have the floor, I'll just start. There's no ZBA meeting tomorrow. There are no cases. And the cemetery trustees, the advisory committee continues to review processes and documentation. We had a 2-hour-ish work meeting last week to go over paperwork and stuff that's in the town clerk's vault. So we're continuing to figure out what paperwork's there, what maps are there, and work on updating process flows to bring those back to the cemetery trustees, just for, number one, awareness, and number two, if they see any changes that need to be made for recommendation to the trustees. And then lastly, I'd like to recommend that we review sometime soon the number of openings that we potentially might have on the boards, committees, and commissions, so we can generate a new call for volunteers. And that way, when April rolls around, we can proceed with timely staffing of those positions with the boards, committees, and commissions, because I know there's some that are expiring each year, so We had April as the date, right? So we can maybe bring that back up sometime soon. That's what I had. What do you have?
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing significant from Park. We're going to take care of some of the director position next week, so that'll be a plus. I guess there was a question, looking at our website, are the dates for when people are coming off, is that accurate?
So Denise and I talked
Okay.
last week, and we went back through the minutes and we recalled that everybody was done like a 1 year, so they all show up, be 1 year. At your next meeting, she has volunteer forms to be filled out and stagger your terms.
Yeah, if I remember, without going back through the minutes, what we did is we said, this will allow you guys to come up with the number of positions that are supposed to be on there, and then we can
Right.
reallocate those.
And I think it went hand in hand with reviewing your bylaws. So if we do
Right.
the bylaws on Monday, you guys meet the third week, the third Tuesday?
Yes?
Okay, because I know that's where we were, as the same as Janice's, we were gonna stagger, but you guys were gonna put that in your bylaws, how you were gonna stagger.
Okay.
Well, and I think it had to do with the number of people that were on the board, too.
Mhm.
So I think that was one of the drivers, was the number of people wasn't set as
Right.
far as what they thought
So she
they
took a
wanted to do
handful of the
moving
volunteer
forward.
forms, and if we, does anybody need them re-forwarded? I think James has sent them a couple of times, the bylaws and the job, okay?
No, I still have them.
And if we do that, I think it'll iron out for everybody to get in the queue for April 1st. That was the plan.
For Energy Commission, I think I'm going to need a little clarification. I know this board has indicated that community power is off the table for the Energy Commission. However, in different presentations that we've seen, it appears that the aggregate groups have been looking at the Energy Commission, either itself or a subcommission, to just work as the Community Power Commission, or committee.
When you say aggregate groups, what do you mean?
The companies that you would sign up for to do the community power. So there've been a couple of different presentations, and each one indicates that it's the Energy Commission has the ability to create a subcommittee.
Yeah, we didn't provide them with that authorization. We explicitly told them, in fact, that, so there was not any ambiguity as to whether or not they had that power or not, that they did not have that power, and it would require a separate commission.
So, but just to reiterate,
Or,
again,
I guess we could combine it in the future, but.
everybody agrees that a community power commission needs to be put in place before any plan or any serious work is done on that. However, I still look at it that somebody needs to do some research on it to see if it's a decent plan for the.
Yeah,
you know,
and I think this board would probably be open to that, but I think we want them to fulfill their primary purpose, or at least make some headway on that before we say, please do that for us.
Right, and they have, and
Okay,
they
good.
are, so, but I just,
Yeah, I tried to watch the last one, but I didn't see anything
No,
posted, and I know
because-
that's because we had to move them upstairs, so.
And I got 4, I don't know why, it only did a period of time, and then I got 4, so I gotta put 4 videos together, and
Oh.
I'm working on that.
awesome, okay, well, and I know I don't know when it quit, but we weren't able to tape the whole thing.
Okay,
So, yeah, the
Yeah, your meeting
quality's-
lasted longer than I thought, that's why I wasn't sure.
okay.
Yeah, so, but we did have, most of it was a presentation on community power
Oh.
this last time. And I did specifically ask the presenter about that, and she was pretty, adamant that the
Yeah, 'cause-
Energy Commission should be able to put that together. But we all agreed, again.
Yeah,
that
if they've been given that from the governing body, yes, but we haven't given them that, so, yeah.
So, but as I've said, I think still doing research on, is it, is it a decent thing for the town to move forward on to say yes?
For research,
For research.
absolutely.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't think
but
that's. an
again, my point would be, after you tell us that you've done the analysis on our heat and our electric and all that stuff, and we're,
Right.
you know, what recommendations, and we haven't even seen bylaws yet.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the main focus
Right.
of what they're working towards. It
So
should
I
be-
did forward a draft and talking, again, it's like, and my apologies, those are not ready for prime time, so, those are still getting worked on.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have been making, headway on, finding that through New Hampshire Saves, they offer a $3,500, well, they'll pay for $3,500 towards, to energy audits. And that appears to be per building, not just for the town as a whole. So, and that would include not just counting light fixtures and saying, okay, this would take so many LEDs and so, things, but that would also include, pressure testing the building to find where there's any leakage
Drafts and
of
things.
drafts and where additional insulation can be put in. So that's probably where
Be
the
interested in
majority
hearing more
of the-
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
that
probably
would
where the
be-
majority of the cost would go in.
Yeah, and then, an analysis of our electricity use, as far as who do we use, how much do we use, if we switch carriers, providers, whatever they call it, would we save money?
Right.
That for, electric and heat.
And, yeah, and that's where the community power could come in if,
Yeah, but those two things can be separate until you get to that point. Yeah,
but I just, again, and I don't mean to keep harping on the community power, but I just want to say, what I'm asking for is to have a presentation to this board to say, these are the numbers why we think community power would be, not just saying, well, it's a good idea, but I want to see the numbers for it. What's it going to offer us?
yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't wanna see that until I've got the
Until
other stuff.
everything else is in place. Understood, all right.
But I'm only one person. So,
I'm of the same opinion, so. No different from last time we brought it up.
okay, anything else?
That is it.
Anything else you know of that we need to know about from any other boards that we don't know about?
Not this week, I guess.
Okay, all right. I already mentioned Chief Moore's communication project update, that's all I had under correspondence. You've covered the request to put things on the website. Anything else? Correspondence?
I didn't see anything.
Okay. Other business, I had the town clerk deputy, we've already done that. Reminder to us that department head performance reviews need to be drafted reviews and given no later than March 10, so get on that if you haven't. I think that brings us to the agenda for 2:10.
Yep, so basically I have 6:30 call to order, pledge allegiance, public comment. I don't have anything listed under department head committee items. I could slide Chief Moore into finalizing his traffic ordinance, if you want to do that.
If he
Or we
can
can
make
do
it, yeah.
the Denise and/or James with the bylaws and the director position. And then finalize the 2025 mailer wording, and then the traditional administrator manifest minutes, selectmen update, correspondence, other business, set agenda for 2/24.
Okay. So if we can do both park and the traffic ordinance, I think that would be,
Yep,
Good.
and then we can finalize the wording, and I'll send it out to you guys ahead of time, too.
okay.
And
And
James,
then-
you can send me yours, and Dave would send me his, and Janice will send me hers, and we'll put it all together.
Then
Because
we
the-
could get the minutes as well.
Yeah, and the finance is gonna meet on Tuesday, and I don't know how that's gonna work, only because I think there's only really two, unless they're gonna revisit some.
Well, I was gonna maybe, talk to Chief Moore about him going back and talking about the tasers and the body worn cameras, because they voted no on both of those, and their rationale for voting no on those that they stated on Saturday was that it should be in the budget. So that doesn't make any sense to me, why you would just say no automatically.
Right. And I don't know if maybe actually hearing like the no means no, that might change things. I don't know.
So maybe you can talk to him and see if he's available
Sure.
to go on Tuesday.
Yep.
I don't think it would hurt anything. I think they'd be open to hearing from them, but if they say they don't want him to come, then that's that.
Yeah, because they had this week, they had full of, with the deliberative, they did Saturday, then they deliberative Wednesday, and they have a deliberative Friday,
Yeah.
so. I'll see, I guess I can ask the chair and then see what chief says.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nothing?
Okay, I think that takes us to a motion to adjourn at 8:07 PM.
Second?
Seconded by Selectman Pratt. All in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. That was 3:00. Have a good night, everybody.